So I get really hysterical. Okay. Welcome to Breakfast Food, the weekly themed comedy podcast featuring feel-good stories, stupid anecdotes, and advice you didn't even know you wanted. From me, Annabelle Logan.
And me, Cara McKinley.
Oh,
I feel so bad keeping weekly in there.
oh my god, I did! Oh.
The weekly comedy podcast that we recorded like 4 months ago.
In my head every week, I just speak to myself and pretend the camera's there. It's weekly.
Yeah, it's weekly comedy podcast.
Oh man, it's been months.
It's been a hot minute, yeah. But I think it was a break that was sorely needed, and something that I realised whilst we've been away and having a break, because we're back. We're back currently simply because Annabelle messaged me and was like, do you want to just have a chat?
You know?
You want to just have a chat and do the podcast? Which I was like, yes. And I realised that the reason that I've like not been feeling it is because we still can't do it in person. And we had that one sweet day of doing it in person, and it was the best, for me, the most fun I've had on the episode so far.
I know. It's so true. Like, it's a tragedy. I mean, the podcast, because of the circumstances, brought us together, like, to do it, but it is now, it's just not the sort of same, is it? And we've not seen each other, like, when did we see each other? We went for a walk outside a few months ago, maybe just before Christmas.
Yeah, it was. I'm gonna sneeze. Okay, oh god.
Oh,
that
bless
was
you.
like the longest sneeze. You know when you feel it, you can feel it in your throat for ages before it comes.
I thought you were like sort of having a fur ball, or I don't know.
But anyway, disclaimer, we're friends, so we already did the how are you of the podcast already. But do you have any how are you moments or anything that you've been up to over the last couple of months that you want to say in the podcast?
What have I been doing? Right. In a succinct minute, I have been exercising more because I was like I wasn't, and it wasn't like, I was like, I wasn't putting on like horrendous weight and be like, no, my god, I'm out of control. But I was just feeling it. I just felt so lethargic all the time, and I just didn't have any energy, and I was like, maybe it's because I'm not being active, which sounds counterintuitive. Yeah. So I've started to do more, or trying to like exercise like 20 minutes every 3-4 days, which is like a nice balance, and it's not too much, and I can kind of keep it in my schedule. So I'm feeling quite good about that. When I first started, I was like, I did that classic thing of like, I'm gonna do it every day.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like kill myself this first, month, and then obviously I burned out, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. You can't sustain that.
That's right. It's boring. I forgot how boring it is.
Fucking dull. The only thing that has helped me is there's a wee app that I use, and it's got some dance classes on it, and it's that for me is like really fun, because the guys that run it are just really down to earth. It's not like, you don't feel like you've got these elite people that are like, you have to do this and this and making you feel like shit. So it's really fun because they just like are really normal people, and they're like, they mess up, they like have a laugh, and they're like, it's all about having fun. And I'm like, so that's actually been good, because cardio for me is like hell on earth. I hate running. I hate like Christian has a cycling like bike thing, and I hate it. He's always like, you should jump on the bike, it's so fun, and I'm like, it's not fun, it's a pedaling.
Bike to nowhere.
Yeah. It's going nowhere. I'm stuck staring at a bookshelf. So yeah, this is for me the balance, and I can get on board with it, so that's been good.
It sounds like a good balance. I think it sounds like a nice amount that you're like you're not feeling like it's taking up too much of your time if you do it. So you're not talking yourself out of it by being like, oh, I just don't have time, because you're like, look, it's once every 3 or 4 days. I have 20 minutes. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I've been horrendous at even just going outside. It's just so cold and snowy and dark.
I know. I'm terrible at going outside as well. Like, I only go if I need to go to the shops, pretty much.
Yeah, same.
Walk Maisie. So yeah.
Recently, I've like been going to the shops less. Even just like if I like look around the house, I'm like, this is fine. We got food.
We got all the dried things and the tins.
Yeah, we can make this work. Although tonight, a true delicacy in the Mullet household, Hannah's making pizza, and Hannah makes amazing pizza. And I cannot wait.
Like from scratch.
Yeah, from scratch.
Damn.
We've been recently. We've been having a few delicacies. We had bao buns from scratch the other day.
What are they?
You've never had bao buns? Oh my god!
No, they're sound
like,
great.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's like steamed buns, like steamed dough, and they're like filled with like a filling of your choice. So like we had this like Asian like chili mince, like chili beef kind of stuff.
Ooh.
That I made, a vegetarian one for Hannah and a non-vegetarian one for me, and we just like stuff them with that. But you can have like sweet ones, savoury ones, like on it, like whatever you want. I can't believe you never had a bao bun before.
It's never entered my periphery of cuisine.
In the many months when we finally get the vaccine, I will bring you bao buns.
I would love that. Send me food. I'm up for it.
Yeah, basically any food. Yeah.
That sounds great.
I'm trying to think what I've been doing. I'm on Twitch now.
Yeah.
And I'm officially a speed runner.
Oh, is that an official thing in the sense that you get a wee certificate?
You get a little badge. No, I'm just on the leaderboards now, so like my name is around and stuff. So
very cool.
If anyone enjoys watching Breath of the Wild and you want to see someone do it fast,
Cara is the only person I follow on Twitch. That's how special she is to me.
Yeah. And the only other news really is that Broccoli had to get every single one of his teeth taken out.
Oh no.
Every single tooth. There's not a tooth in that man's head.
Oh, what a wee gummy boy.
I know. What an absolute sweetheart.
How's he coping with it?
He actually, what had happened was we took him to the vet and we were like, his teeth are weird, and they were like, yes, and he stinks, and we were like, yes, that's the boy. But it turns out that he has a condition called tooth reabsorption, which is exactly what it sounds like. Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's where like the tooth was literally being reabsorbed into his mouth, like into his gums.
Dude.
Yeah. And the vet was like, he probably is in quite a bit of pain.
Yeah.
So we're best to just take them all out. And like, he's like a sleepy guy, but he's 10 or 11 now. So we thought that he was being sleepy because he was old, and that was just that.
Yeah.
But he got his teeth out, and then, once the anesthetic and stuff wore off, he was like a whole new cat.
Oh.
Like, when we first brought him home, it was the saddest thing ever. So Hannah brought him home. I was actually on stream and I had to stop the stream just to he was like wobbly and drooly, and like he's got this particular purr he does when he's sad or scared.
Oh.
And he was like doing that purr. It was like breaking our hearts. And that night we left the bedroom door open for him to like come in and sleep with us if he wanted to, but he never did. And at like 6 a.m. or something, I was like, I'm just going to go and check on him, just see where he is. And I came through and he looked at me and he just like ran over and he was rubbing himself all on me. He was purring and he was so happy. Oh my God.
That's so great. I love it.
He's like, but he's like totally fine now. Yeah, no teeth, and his gums have healed, and he's just like, he also needed to get put on kidney food, which apparently is like notoriously unflavorful. So like loads and loads of cats will just refuse to eat it. And the vet was saying that to Hannah, was like, you might have a bit of a hard time with him, and she was like, we'll be fine. He will eat anything you put in front of him.
Aww, that's great. So is he still on that, or is that just a kind of little
that'll be him forever. But it's just like old man kidneys, you know, he's just an old boy, but we caught it really early, so we shouldn't need to go on to medication. It should be fine with just the food.
Yeah. Oh, old man kidneys.
Old man kidneys, yeah.
Oh, yes. It's been very cute in the old Logan Engels household too, actually. Maisie and Dima have been actually really enjoying the snow.
Aww.
I have so many videos of Maisie, like in slow-mo, jumping through the snow. I will send them to you because they are super cute. And she does major zoomies like all around the garden. And I was like so sure that Dima was like not bothered by snow in the sense that she was like, ugh, it's wet and cold, I want to stay in. But she the other day was this like rubbing herself and rolling around in the snow.
Oh, that's so cute.
And I was like, oh, bless you. I mean, either that or there was some major good smell in there and she was like, we do have this like
this year's snow.
We have this proper, I can only describe as like a jakey cat that prowls around, and I think it's her father. Because so Dima is the offspring of the upstairs neighbor's cat, and they were always like, there's this, her father is this cat called Big Jim.
Big Jim.
And I was like, who's this Big Jim? And they're like, yeah, he's still wandering around, you sort of see him from time to time. And they're like, yeah, she like walks the same as him, he's also like a black cat. And sure enough, this black cat slinks about and he's not neutered, obviously, and he just goes about, honest to God, spraying everything. It's to the point it's so grim. He jumped up to our living room windowsill, and I was like, oh, Big Jim's here. He turned around and he was like... So we had this like dried spray on the window,
gross.
And I was like, oh, what a manky cat. And he walks around and he's just like, meow, meow, meow. You hear him before you see him. So he's a local legend, but a bit
someone
of a
needs
boy.
to go and someone needs to go and get Big Jim fixed.
Right? Yeah, Christian is always like, I just want to grab him. I just want to grab him and take him to the vets. I just want to get those balls cut off.
Do it. We don't need any more little kittens.
I know. As cute and fluffy and gorgeous as they are, he honestly, I don't know, he just seems to just own the place, and he's a big old Clyde boy. And that's Big
so
Jim.
funny. That is so funny, Big Jim. What a name for a cat.
And the beautiful thing is he's actually a very small cat.
Oh,
he's like really like thin. He's got this and they put a little collar around him with a bell because he's always running around, so you just hear this like little ding-a-ling-a-ling bell. Yeah.
Oh, that's so nice.
So
what a guy.
Big job.
Big job.
Gosh, what, I don't know what else I've been doing. Just living
That's
life.
basically me. That's honestly basically me. The only big thing that has happened is Broccoli went to the vet, and the rest of life has just been the same as it has been this whole year.
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling kind of similar. Like little creative pockets here and there, but everything's the same. Work the same. Sitting at home working the same. Yeah. Not going anywhere. The same.
Yeah, even more so. Like at least before the weather turned, before the second lockdown happened, at least I like had my bike and we could like wave at people from across the park. And now it's like I literally don't go outside.
Yeah, absolutely. And the streets are dead, I feel.
No. Oh yeah, we went out to play in the snow the other night. Like the first night that it snowed heavily, we were like, oh, and like it was novel.
Yeah.
So me and Hannah just like went out into the street and just like threw things and ran around a little bit. And we're bubbled with two of our friends, Elle and James, and we went up to their house, and we were like, let's sneak over and like throw snowballs at their window.
Yeah.
And then we were like trying to, but their front garden's gated off, so I was like opening the gate real quiet, and me and Hannah both had like both hands full of snowballs. And I saw Elle walk through the house and into the living room, which is the window I was going for, and I was hoping that she would see the snowball hit the window before she saw me, so she wouldn't like get too much of a fright. But oh my god, she jumped out of her skin. She just like looked out the window, and she had like a glass full of like something or other. Like it looked like she was about to like sit down to like this nice glass with some ice in it. She had a video queued up on her TV screen. James was like kneading some bread dough in the other room, and then like she just sees this shadowy figure in her garden just ready to lob a snowball
in the dark, right?
In the dark, yeah, it was pitch black outside. It was so funny.
You wee creepers. I love it.
Yeah, I know. But it was so good because Rowan, their dog, has never seen that much snow before.
Yeah.
And she does this really cute thing where if you present her a snowball, she'll eat it out of your hand.
Aww.
But she doesn't eat the snow. Like, she doesn't just like go around the snow crunching it. It's like she thinks that you've given her something special because you've presented it to her. It's so cute.
Oh my gosh. Love that. Maisie has this. She gets this beautiful like wizard beard when she's been in the snow, because like the snow is like pretty much her level, and she just drags her face and her beard along, and it's so gorgeous. She just gets clumped with like beard. I kept having to put her in the shower and like sort of melt the snow, because it gets like properly clumped into her fur, so she gets these like little snowballs all over her, and they don't melt so quickly. So she looks such a state. So I was like, honestly, like getting her in the shower, heating her up, putting her back, and then she'd just go out again, do it again. So yeah.
Maybe she likes the whole process. Maybe she enjoys the shower part of it too.
I think she secretly does. She always is a bit like, I don't. What are you doing? But then as soon as she's under the hot water, she's like, all right, this is pretty cool. You're like,
that's how I think Broccoli would be the same. If like he could just learn that the water's going to be warm and nice, but like he used to, apparently, because he gets really quick, he's quite a clingy cat, and it used to be that when Hannah went in the shower, he would stand in like the bath and watch her.
Oh,
and get like sprayed with water, and then eventually he'd be like, ugh, and he would get up and leave. But he would do it like every time. He would just like stand there or sit there and then be like, wait, I'm getting wet, no, and then he'd run off. Now he just comes in and like leans over and looks into the bath, and then he goes and sits in the hall and chases his tail until you're out of the shower.
Oh,
he's
very proper
cute.
hyped by the water. Oh, I love it. What would we do without our pets?
It's snowing again.
Is it snowing at yours?
Yeah.
It was
just like a little bit.
I think that was with me like about 5 minutes ago. We had a little smatter. Must be blowing over to you.
Blowing a gale.
Blowing away. Should we introduce our topic for this week?
Yes, we should. We have come back. Oh my god, sorry.
No, you're fine. Rude.
We have come back to grace everybody with terrible first date stories.
Yes.
To get ready for Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. The weirdest day of the year, I feel.
A dumb holiday. Yeah.
Dumb holiday I never personally really celebrate. But it's there, and it's like a marker stone on the year. And sometimes that helps.
It shows up on the calendar, and that's that.
That is that.
See, me and Hannah's anniversary is only a couple days, like 6 days after Valentine's Day. So we decided just to celebrate the anniversary and not bother with the Valentine's Day and just like make it a 2-for-1 kind of thing.
Nice.
So we're not really going to be doing anything for it. Just because also, lazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm same. I'm like, I think we're going to make one of our favourite dishes, which is this mega, mega cheesy pasta. Oh my god.
Whoa.
It's so good. It's like you basically clump like a load of cheddar and mozzarella, and you have the pasta, and then you think there's spinach in it, and then there's like some sort of creamy sauce. There's something I'm missing that's quite key to this recipe. I can't remember what it is, but it's just pure cheese.
Just cheese all the way down.
Cheese, pasta, brilliant. So we're definitely going to make that, and then I think we'll just have a wee glass of wine. Maybe even
Yeah.
a whole bottle. We'll go crazy. Yeah, we're
However,
the same.
Annabelle and I are both in long-term, loving, committed relationships currently. However, we're not always.
No.
So I have pulled from my history a couple of first date stories, and I've also trolled the internet to find another couple first date stories that
Nice.
that seem to be just as bad or worse. A lot of them are a lot worse than the first date stories I have to tell.
I've had to be, I've definitely picked ones that are middle ground and aren't so horrendous I just cannot bring myself to say. There's a slight filter for protection, I feel, of all parties involved. Not the other person from the date, like whatever. I'm not going to name them, but for me and Christian.
Yes.
But I have some good ones. And I have some good ones I found as well. And for beautiful measure, I found a wee 80s dating video that I thought I should play for you.
Oh my god. Is it that video of all those guys making their tapes?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen it. It's so good.
I think I'm going to post it onto our Instagram just for a beautiful intro, because I know most people have seen it because it's got millions of views, but I love it. It's a beautiful thing.
It's a wonderful video. I've watched it so many times.
Yeah. So glad that wasn't what we had to do back in the day.
I know, my God.
Is it worse now? Some might say yes. But...
Some might say yes.
Yeah. So, where do we start?
I'll go first. I've got a really normally lame one, and one that was like, at the time, mortifying, but looking back on now, probably is still mortifying, actually. I'll just tell that one. This one's probably one of my most well-known stories. It's one I tell all the time. And you've probably heard this one before, but I was on not only a first date, but I was on my first ever, Tinder date. Uh-huh. I had been in a relationship up until this point for years, and this was I was 21 or 22 or something. And so it was my first Tinder date, and it was fine, we chatted and it was all good. But I also was getting messages all night from a bunch of people that I worked with at the time being like, you said you'd be at this work night out and you're not here and blah, blah, blah. So,
was I involved in that? I might have included being there. Wait.
I can't remember. I think you were not there for some reason.
Okay.
I don't know if this was maybe before you started working there.
Yeah.
But so... Me, I don't know if it's that I didn't know the dating etiquette or whatever, but I was just like, well, I need to go to this work thing. Would you like to come?
Nice.
So she was like, yeah, sure, and she came. But I had completely forgotten how rubbish everyone that I work with is, and no one made it easy at all for me. They started to refer to us as one person.
Oh no!
They would talk to her and be like, "We're really enjoying this date. We really like you." As if we were an entity.
Okay. Oh, awkward.
One of the people I worked with to this day makes jokes about this because she asked her, "What's your favorite fairy tale?" for whatever stupid reason, and I don't remember what she said. What the girl I was on the date with said, because I can't remember, because every time my friend tells this story she changes the answer. She's like, oh, and she said Jaws, or she said Edward Scissorhands or whatever. It changes every single time. But this girl was such a good sport all night, was just being real polite, putting up with it all. And obviously at some point we were going out the group of us. At some point she was excused herself, and I was like, oh, okay, see you later, nice to see you, let me know when you get home safe, all that normal stuff. And as we were saying goodbye, and this isn't even a slight over-exaggeration, as we were saying goodbye, everyone that was there that night that I worked with got in a circle around us and held hands and started skipping and chanting.
Oh no!
Yes,
people.
This is a real thing that happened. And then the girl left. I texted her being like, I hope you go home safe, and obviously never heard from her again.
Oh man.
I mean, of course, how else could it have gone?
I mean, thanks, pals.
Right? I was just like, oh my god. And then years later, literal years later, I'm talking maybe last year or the year before, someone came down the stairs and was like, I'm here for a job interview, and it was her, and I was the one that showed her down the hall, and I was like, oh no, oh no. And she can't work here.
She was like, hey again, and you were like, hey. Did you know both... she remembered, right?
Yeah, of course you remember. The look we exchanged was a look of both of us in a split second deciding that we were just going to pretend we didn't know each other.
Oh man.
So that's how we got past that part. But then my old manager, who was one of the perpetrators that night, was also working that day, and like came running over to me and was like, is that who I think it is?
Oh man, what a shame. But also lol. Frickin' Tinder.
The thing I like to think about is like that is a bad first date story for me, but what kind of first date story do you think that is for her?
Yeah, think of what she will tell to her friends.
Exactly, that story the other way around is like, she was trying to indoctrinate me into her cult.
Yeah, she was like, that was all the guys, they weren't workmates at all. This was some crazy, creepy-ass new religion.
They were all sister wives.
Yes, exactly. They all knew each other very intimately.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my one.
Oh man, I have a couple. They're like, I only went on Tinder for the first time about 5 years ago, and so I kind of missed. I really didn't know anything about dating, sort of similar to you, because I come out of a really long-term relationship, had no idea about the landscape, what dating was like, any of that, and I was just so clueless. And I was already in a bad headspace, as you kind of sometimes tend to be after coming out of a long-term relationship.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think in my head, I thought I was fine and I could date, but I probably in hindsight should have given myself more time before going out dating. But anyway, I think I had a couple of dates. So one of them was pretty like lame, but there was another, I had a few, but there was one that particularly sticks out. I will tell you that in a sec. The one that also was quite funny was I met with this person. So I've been chatting to this person on Tinder, and we're like, yeah, let's meet up, let's go for a drink. And I was like, great, cool. And he looked like my age. I think he had said he was slightly younger, but in his like late 20s. And I was like, that's fine. Honest to God, when I met this person, I think he was about 19.
No.
He was so young looking, and he was like, it felt like I was instantly chatting to my like a little brother. And I was like, what the hell? And he was so like shy and really like, you know, like just like he was trying to be older but failing miserably. And I was like, get me out of here. So I was very polite, like I chatted to him for a bit, and then he was like, and then I was like, okay, I've got to go now. And he was like, oh, I'll walk you out, probably hoping that I would somehow be like, hey, you want to come home?
Yeah.
So I got to the bus stop, fortunately right outside the pub, and I was like, this is my bus stop. Okay, well, you know, bye then. And he kind of stood next to me, and I was like, I hope you had a good time. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go, bye. And he was standing there just hoping maybe he could just lean in, maybe it would just work. But I think I was like, I just turned around, I walked to the other end of the bus stop and like waved to him, and he was like, bye. And away he went. Never spoke to him again. But I was like, gross, felt kind of dirty.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you my best dating story. Before I actually met my gorgeous, beautiful partner just now, who I actually met on Bumble. Me and
Hannah met on Bumble too.
Yeah, so we like. I'll tell you the nice story of how we met after this one. Oh my god! So I was chatting to this guy. I think it was on Tinder, and he was from Glasgow. He was like, I'm a poet, an arty, and his pics were quite cool. And yeah, I just look a bit like a hipster really. And I was like, you know, not my usual type, but you seem kind of interesting. And so we kind of chatted, and then he was like, yeah, let's meet. And I was like, great. And I was like, would you want to come through to Edinburgh to meet? And he was like, okay. I think he was like shitting himself. He was like, is this person gonna like stab me and leave me in the city centre of Edinburgh? Like, is this legit? But he turned up and we, went for a wee drink, and we actually saw each other quite a few times. I kind of on and off saw him for like about a month. But over the period of us meeting, he got weirder and weirder and weirder.
Oh, no.
So he pretty much on our second time we met said he loved me.
Oh.
He started writing poems for me.
Oh.
A lot of poems. Terrible poems. Sweet, bless him, but he gave me a notebook to write in, and he had glued in one of his poems to the front. So yeah, it was basically like, you're the stars, the moon, my heart aches, I can't think or live without you, blah blah blah. And he just got weirder and weirder and more erratic, and he would start to turn up at my door wasted, and he would like come in and be like, he knew that I was like, had just done like a show up north, and he was like, oh, I know the guy that worked on that, he's actually secretly gay. What?
Okay.
And he's like, yeah, he's like, I know him, I've got pals that know him. And he was talking utter shite, and he was just getting weirder and weirder and just a bit erratic, to the point where I was like, you're scaring me, like I want you to leave. And so it ended with me like him leaving, but obviously there was quite a few times he would call me and he would just be crying and just being like, I'm messing this up, I want to make this better and all this. And I honestly, this was between a span of a month. It went from second day of I love you to like, I can't live without you, writing those poems. And yeah, so eventually it was like, no, this is really weird, and I blocked him, and that was that. But
yep, that's that, moving on.
But that was like one of the first real like horror feelings of going on like Tinder dates, and I was like, this place is dark, I don't like this, and I've never liked it, and I felt like I wasn't fully in control. And looking back at my mental state, I look back and I'm like, oh my god, I was not in a good place to be like chatting to these people, and I felt so vulnerable, and I'm pretty sure I was taken advantage of quite a few times. When I look back, I'm like, oh man, I wouldn't have normally been that open or whatever and stuff. So horrible, but nice story. I met Christian on Bumble, and and he was, it was so cute. I was sitting in a park one day, and I was on the phone to my mom, burst into tears, and was just like, I hate this, I feel so depressed, and I'm just feeling horribly trapped, and I hate this, and it was still so fresh from being out of my long-term relationship in the grand scale of things. And and I was on Bumble, and I was like, this is the last day I'm going to use this app and Tinder. I was like, I'm deleting them because they're just ruining my mental health. And so I had one last swipe through Bumble, and I matched with this charming man, this lovely German chap who had very gorgeous pictures and was very bright-eyed and sparkly, and I was like, who's this guy? And then we were like, hey, do you want to meet up? And I think we actually met that very evening.
That's so cute.
And it was a really sweet like meeting. We went to the Waters of Leith, and we had a nice walk, and it was just like, it was the first time I felt calm with someone and not like slightly anxious or whatever. I just felt instantly like, oh, I'm just really chill with this person.
Christian is a very calming person.
He is. He's always just like very like, he nothing really phases him in a way. So he's just really like a straight, calm Maisie just made a weird noise. Sorry.
Yeah, I heard that.
That was so weird. Are you okay, baby? She's like, you're talking about my dad. So yeah, and then we obviously met like the next like day or two later, and then we just kept meeting, and that was that. And then we deleted all our apps, and we never had to look back. Oh,
so
beautiful!
good.
What a lovely feeling.
The feeling when you get to just be like, and delete forever.
Yes. And you're like,
so
true
good.
things, happy things will happen, and I never want to look at another app, dating app, ever again.
Yes, there was a date I went on not too long before meeting Hannah, and it was just like one of those ones that like I couldn't understand why I was on this date. Like, it was one of those ones where like we had been chatting a little bit, and the girl was like, do you want to meet up for a drink? And I was like, yeah, sure. It was one of those ones where she was like, do you want to meet up tonight for a drink? I'm around. And I was like, yeah, I'll go to the pub, kind of thing. So went to meet her, and literally was like, hiya, and sat down, and was like, I was a little bit late, so she already had a drink. And I was like, oh, I'll just grab myself something, you know. And I sat down and I was like, hey, so like, how are you? And she just launched into like this. I don't even like, the whole date was just her like bitching about her job, and like that was basically the whole date, was her being like, and then this happened, and then Fred, Fred, I mentioned Fred earlier on tonight, so blah, and she clearly just needed a vent that night, and her friends were not available, but I was. So, like, I went there thinking that it was going to be a wee date, and it ended up like I like barely took my jacket off, because like I realised within like the span of my first pint I did not want to stick around too long.
No.
I think I made it 2 drinks, because she was like, she finished her drink before me, obviously, because she was there first, and got me another one when she was up there. And then I was like, well, gotta hit the hay, working tomorrow,
Yeah.
And then I think the next day she messaged me and was like, oh, I had a really fun night, we should meet up again, would you be up for it? And I was like, no. I wouldn't be.
No.
I'm good.
Yes, I've never had sort of like having to be so blunt with something, apart from there was one time where I felt quite happy to do it, and I was just like, no, we don't need to meet up again. I'm in a really good space. Bye.
Bye. Yeah. That's the end of that. I've already told you one of my crazy first date stories, because I can't even remember. Oh, it was on the what episode was it? It was on one of our themed episodes, and I told you about the girl I met who had been in a like documentary podcast I'd listened to. Oh yeah. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And I had listened to this podcast episode about this guy who had been like stalking someone, and then hit someone else over the head with a bottle of wine.
Yeah.
And then she ended up being the one that had gotten hit on the head, and I found this out on our first date in the middle of Wings, like this chicken restaurant in Edinburgh.
That's great. That was a good story. That's like,
it was a good story.
Celebrity status, getting hit
I
over
know.
the head.
Would you like to hear me and Hannah's meeting?
Yes, I would love to.
It's honestly much the same, except fast. Like,
sure.
We were like, and also you've probably heard this before, but I'll say it. So me and Hannah also met on Bumble, and we matched, and I thought the same as you. Like, when we matched, I was like, what's going on here? This doesn't make any sense. And then she messaged me, and I don't remember. I think she messaged me because one of my things in my profile was like that I am essentially, like, I'm a very warm person. Yeah. I'm like a human hot water bottle. And she was like, I'm also a very warm person. What would happen if we hugged? And I was like, I don't know. I can't remember what I said. I said something about causing some sort of a flame. I don't know. Something lame. And like, we just like, from the moment we started talking, it was all banter. There was no like, how was your day? What age are you? Or, it was just like banter nonstop. I'm pretty sure within the first like 10 minutes of us talking, I sent her a picture of me in the bath, but not like a sexy one. It was because me and my friend Hayley had decided to do a little staycation, and we got this beautiful hotel room that had this big bath in the room, and we're both life models, and we did like a little photo shoot in the bath, like surrounded by bubbles. And I sent Hannah a picture that I thought was just like funny. It was like just like my leg out and my arms out, but like I was fully covered by the bubbles, and Hannah's like, Can you honestly say, looking back, that you sending me a picture of you in the bath would not have been perceived as sexy? And I was like, I didn't think so, but clearly I was just being an idiot. But yeah, we were like meant to meet like a week later, and then we ended up pulling it forward a couple of days, and we met after work one day, like after my work, and I travelled through to Glasgow because Hannah was in Glasgow at the time, and I hadn't told anyone at work that I was going on a date because like my recent dates had just all been so crap, and I was like, I don't want to have to go through the stories again of like, oh, I'm dating this person, never mind, it was terrible. Mm-hmm. But everyone was like, why are you all dressed up, where are you going? So went through, met, it was really, really nice. Actually, tomorrow is the anniversary of our first date. We met on Valentine's Eve into Valentine's Day. Oh yeah. But the Valentine's Day, so the morning after our date, I was like distraught because I'd had some bad news about the house I was trying to buy, and I was trying so hard not to cry in her house. But I was like doing these little cries and then be like, I'm so sorry. And so I fully thought we were not going to see each other again. I was like, I just spent like 3 hours just crying in her living room. Mm-hmm. Like, there's no way this girl's going to want to see me again. And then like we kept talking, and then we started getting into the habit of like calling each other at night, and the phone calls would last like 2 to 3 hours every night. This was after the first date. Because Hannah was super busy at the time. She had loads of projects on. It was another week or 6 days or something until we could like meet up again. But we talked every night. And when I say that things went fast, on the date, in the middle of the dinner of our date, Hannah says at one point I went to the bathroom and she went on her phone and deleted or got rid of Bumble and or just Bumble. She only had a Bumble. Got rid of Bumble then and there. It was just like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then like by the time we got to our second date, I was already like, I want this person to be my girlfriend. I know this. Yeah. I know this. And we had sort of talked about it, and Hannah was like, you know, obviously was like, it's kind of fast. I don't really know, like, you know. Fair enough, we'd only met one time, but by the time the second date was over, we were official, and not long after that we moved in together due to the pandemic, and now she lives here with me in Edinburgh, and it's our 1 year anniversary in like a week.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah.
It's so, I love it. It makes me so happy that it's not just an anomaly. There's people are genuinely meeting and like these things are working out, like in terms of like Bumble and stuff like that, and there's more to it than just like, oh, let's meet up and have a drink and see where the night leads. And it's just like, it's so beautiful. I'm such a romantic, but
yeah, same.
The second date, actually, it's quite similar to you and Hannah's. When Christian and I had our second date, I went round to his place because he lived just around the corner from me, which was quite handy.
Handy.
Mm-hmm. And I was in like proper like the middle of my PTSD, like feeling utter shite, and I hadn't slept properly in like weeks, if not more than like over a month, and I was barely sleeping, and I was just so erratic, and it was horrid. I'm so amazed he stuck with it. But I came and met him, and we obviously like got chatting, and we had a drink, and then he put on some lovely like really chill music, and I was like, do you mind if I just curl up here on the sofa? And I fell asleep, and he was just like there, and this had music on, and he was such a gentleman. It was so sweet, and I felt just this instant calm around him and comforted, and I was like, bless him for just not thinking, who's this girl coming in and falling asleep on my sofa. She's so mental. But no, he felt sort of similar, so yeah, it was really nice.
That's so cute. You just go again and be like, do you mind if I curl up? Can I put my head on your knee and just fall asleep for a bit?
I just needed like comfort and just like a bit of a love in a way, without it being like love, but it was just like that safety and warmth, and it was just Yeah.
That's so cute.
Very cute. I know.
Aww. He just like sat there patiently waiting for you to wake back up again.
Yeah. He was just like, it's Kale. Whatever. I've got stuff to do, I guess. He was very polite.
Aww.
Should I tell you a few stories I've picked up from?
Please, yes.
Just some good wee tales. We were saying before we started this that we were on Reddit trying to find stories, or I was anyway, and there was so many like posts that were not funny, and they were just becoming more and more like scary. And it's so true. Like, most of the things I was finding in this subreddit was not amusing, and I was just like, God, dating sucks. Like, and I really felt for it, because like when you've experienced a bit yourself and you sort of see people telling that, and you're like, oh, it's so dark in places. And I just want to like acknowledge that, like, or I'm obviously picking like the lighter ones, but people are, obviously maybe not now because they're not meeting in person, but people are going through some really horrible shit. And if you're in that dating position like we were,
sorry I'm trying to clear my throat quietly, but then it just escalated.
If you're in that position, like, it gets better, doesn't it? Like, it will get better. And never ever, if anything makes you uncomfortable, like, you really, even if you're in that vulnerable place in your mind, you really can just walk away and block and not give this person like more of your time and think, oh, maybe they was just having an off night. Just you're worth so much more than that. I wish I had that feeling of confidence when I was dating, and it's so hard when you're in that place because you don't necessarily feel good about yourself, if you're maybe not really ready for it. You think you are. So we all have to be much more respectful of ourselves. That is my thought. Yeah. Okay, I will tell you my first one. Okay. Last January, I went on a date with a man we will call Landon, who I met through Old. I don't know what that means.
I met through Old?
Yeah, what's that mean? That must be a special dating app. I don't know.
Anyway,
we had some light phone conversation and he seemed alright, so we decided to meet for dinner. Landon spent the first 20 minutes of our date explaining to me how he was the smartest, self-taught programmer to ever exist, etc., etc., but was having a lot of trouble getting Google/Facebook to hire him, so he was a private consultant for now. This is all random stuff, which I took to mean as he was unemployed. He also was quite rude to waitstaff. That's such a red flag.
Oh, that's such a tell, yeah.
Oh, man. Yelling at our waiter for no reason, sending everything back, making a scene. It was hard to judge him as anything less than a narcissist, based on the delusions of grandeur and obvious entitlement. It always makes it easy when someone shows you who they are right away. So true. Anyway, narcissists are a hard bunch to ditch because they really hate when you tap out first. So I decided to knock myself off the pedestal he was putting me on right away so he'd leave, and hopefully I'd never hear from him again. I said, I felt it important to disclose that I do have 2 fairly significant and rare autoimmune diseases, 1 case per every million people, kind of rare, and that it was important he understand that though I look healthy and young, I'm still chronically ill and could potentially succumb to my illness. This is all true, plus I also have lupus and something called Sjogren's. I've never heard of that, but that's kind of whatever compared to the relapsing polychondritis and dermatomyositis. I'm so sorry.
Well done.
Not a doctor. He sits in silence for like 5 really long minutes, and then he says,
"Oh my god!
You know what? That's fine. I love the movie A Walk to Remember. I could do this."
Oh my god!
I've never seen A Walk to Remember, but I can imagine exactly, that it's basically a movie about someone who has a disability. And he was like, I was stunned. I had not considered that the outside appearance of being a selfless partner or a grieving widower might be attractive to someone like this. He basically wanted to enlist us in some real-life adaptation of this god-awful movie after 30 minutes of knowing me. I laughed because I was so surprised, but then said that I needed to go home because that was highly inappropriate and I was uninterested in seeing him again. I didn't hear from him for about a week and assumed the nail was in the coffin. But then Landon came back from the dead, alas. He sent me what probably equated to a 2-page message about how I was wrong for him because of my poor communication style and how I was going to die alone because I did not want to be with him and what a terrible person I was. He sent it through the dating app we were still connected on because I blocked his number. I did not respond, then blocked him on the dating site. Several weeks passed, and then he started hitting me up with new numbers every month or two, which he still does to this day, nearly a year later, to try and entrap me into talking to him. Things he asked me: are you mad at me? I just got a cat. Can you give me advice? I feel like we didn't give things a proper go. Would you be open to trying again? I'm really scared about Corona. Can we just talk? It's the creepiest thing. Landon never seems to go away. I block a number, he makes a new one. This was by far my creepiest and most disturbing old dating experience. Thankfully, he hasn't physically stalked me yet, but with his determination, who knows? Oh,
jeez,
Landon, Jesus Christ. It's that narcissism of, I can't let this person be the one to get rid of me. I have to be the one that gets rid of this person.
Yeah, God. She tried to make that happen. She
tried so hard. Like, that just sends me chills. Like, there has to be a point where you're just like, for my own, like, just your own dignity, dude, just let it go.
Stop. Yeah, let it go. My God.
I do love that he equated her whole kind of like disability issues to a film. And it was
I'm pretty sure I walked to remember, I've not seen it either, but I'm pretty sure it's about like having like a partner who's terminally ill.
Oh.
And like them like spending the last bit of their life with you. I don't really know, I know it's not a desirable thing to hear from a prospective partner that they want that relationship.
I want to soothe you and care for you until you die.
Which will be soon, I've decided.
Which will be soon. Oh God.
Oh God.
Yay.
Oh my goodness.
Do you want to tell me one of yours?
Yeah, I've got one ready. So, a cute-ish guy approached me at a foreign film screening at my university in Arizona and asked me out in French, which was the language of the film. I spoke college-level French, so I accepted the offer for the date. When he picked me up on Friday night, he greeted me with a Guten Tag, and from that moment on, he spoke nothing but clumsy German all night.
No, why?
He took me to Blockbuster, in parentheses, I'm old, and we rented a German film. He spoke German to the cashier, he spoke German through dinner, he spoke German while watching the film, he tried to get to first base in German, and yes, this whole time I was telling him repeatedly that I don't speak German and that I can't understand him. He was just responding in German. But the weirdest moment was when his roommate came home and as I was awkwardly leaving, my date was trying to convince me to stay in German. My date interrupted our conversation to say in a perfectly normal Arizona accent, "Hey man, what's up?" And then he turned back to me and continued to speak in German.
What a freak. Why?
What the fuck?
Yeah, at first I was like, is this set in, like, maybe they're somehow exchange students? I don't know. Maybe they moved to Germany. Is this person German? But there's zero link to Germany or German.
Yeah, they're just American.
That's freaking weird. Don't
so
do
weird.
That.
Fine, I guess fine to try it for whatever reason, but then to keep it going when your date is like, I don't speak German.
Yeah, there's a point where you have to read the social cues and think, okay, we're gonna ditch that attempt. I mean, I would probably have ditched it before Blockbuster, but that's just me. Yeah. Jeez, I mean, I can't imagine. Like, Christian, obviously, as you know, is German, and I'm trying to learn German for the bands and
for the bands. No other reason.
No other reason at all. And yeah, he I don't think he ever spoke any German to me until I was like, I want you to speak German to me. But I was so curious. And yeah, I think it was like until we went to first meet his mum. Like, yeah, I really saw him like in a flow of conversation in German. I was like, whoa, it's so cool. It's so cool when you meet someone who speaks a second or even third language and you're like, damn.
People who can speak different languages blow my mind. Like, I'm currently, as you know, on and off always trying to learn Japanese. And it's just like, I mean, I definitely, one of the reasons it's hard is my dyslexia. Whenever it's like, oh, can you spell this? I'm like, no, stop trying to make me spell things. But like, even like remembering how to say things, like I don't understand how people, even yourself, like whenever I watch your learning German videos, I'm like, Annabelle knows so much German.
It's funny. I mean, I think a lot of it is, from what I gather, from what everyone says, it's like you really need to just be immersed in hearing that every day. And sometimes now I'm picking up sort of certain ways things are said, and naturally, without thinking too much, the words just follow, and I'm like, that's probably what they mean. Yeah, like things just kind of, you find certain words just go together and it makes sense. But I mean, that's few and far between still, because I think unless you're like listening to it every day and you're having to interact and chat with someone every day, which I obviously don't, it's like really hard. But
you should find yourself a German soap opera to watch.
I've found a choice German TV on our like Fire Stick. There's like a whole like program. It's like a whole sort of channel, and it's all set in Bavaria, and it's basically just weird, really obscure documentaries about life in Bavaria and the occasional amazing soap drama thing. My favorite one I found was called Himmels Willen, and it's basically like translated as for heaven's sake, and it's about a bunch of nuns and they're like local like village, I think, that they all stay in, and it's just like what they do on a day-to-day basis, and it's all a bit silly and a bit camp. And oh my god, I'm gonna show you I think I still kept the video of the intro because it is a million chef's kisses amazing.
Good.
It's so campy and it's brill. And yeah, these weird documentaries, the last one we watched was one all about organ makers, people who make those like church organs, and
what the fuck?
They make like 2 a year, and it's very, very dedicated, delicate, and oh my gosh, and they're so into it, and they're all just like in this tiny little village in Bavaria, and that's their life. They make organs. And like it got to the point where like one of the kind of young apprentices, one of the things he has to do is like check the kind of holes of like the wood to make sure they like have air going through and stuff, and he honest to God just stands there for a good minute just making out with this stick.
What the fuck?
Because he's like putting his mouth over all these holes, and he's just like, I'm guessing, blowing into it, and all you just see is this like young guy, and he's just like sort of making out with a stick.
So weird.
And they're all just like, they're all just like really kind of cash and normal and like loving their organs. It's so sweet. So
aww.
Yeah, fun time.
A great way to practice German.
It is. It's very silly and amusing, and Germans have such I think particularly Bavarians actually have this very dry, like very frumpy sense of humor, where it's like your kind of parents and your grandparents would be like, oh, that's so silly. Yeah. Whereas obviously everyone else would be like, what the fuck is going on? So it's really silly. Where were we? Oh, stories. I have one more as well.
Yeah, you tell me your one, and then I've got like a few little ones I can tell you.
Nice. I had 3, but I think one of them kind of plays into our rude ass like douchebags in waiting staff. So I'm gonna tell you another one. Okay, this one's not as long as the last one. So. Around this time last year, I went on a Tinder date with someone from a different university in the same town. His university is kind of known for being a bit more prestigious than mine, and he did some sort of physics, while I do linguistics. Nothing wrong with that. We went to Spoons, so this must be someone from the UK. We went to Spoons for cheap drinks, and immediately he started telling me all about how all throughout school he was beat up all the time because he would correct people when they would say things wrong. Then he started talking about advanced physics and acted upset that I didn't know, even though he knew I didn't study anything close to physics since high school. When I asked him to explain, he would just kind of scoff and smirk, saying, "Never mind, it's not meant for you." Ugh!
Oh my god.
He then very kindly told me it must be difficult for me to date since I don't have much to talk about, which I kindly replied, "I just don't know random facts about space." This makes him go into this tirade. He says, "I feel guilty when I'm dating. You see, I'll explain something that intelligent people do. We tell white lies all the time to make people happy and help them not question things. It'd be hard to explain something like that to you, though, so I'll leave it." Ugh, he just took...
This guy sucks.
I hate him so much. He just took a sip of his sparkly unicorn Spoons cocktail. Like, he didn't just call me stupid. I was actually stunned. He spent the rest of the time at Spoons asking me girl advice for another girl he was talking to. I was trying to get over someone at the time, so I went to his house anyways. This is what I mean when you're not in the headspace, dear God. Regret, lol. And he invited me to cuddle while he watches a video. I sit next to him and have to watch a 40-minute Minecraft playthrough while he responds to all his commentary. "Is this you, Kara?" No. To get out of there, I told him I was hungry and that I was gonna go eat. He says he knows just the place. It will be a surprise. We get there. It's a steakhouse. No salads or anything. Just meat. I'm vegan, and he knows this.
Oh my god.
I deleted Tinder immediately. The end.
Oh my god. No, everything about that is the worst.
It really is. And it also has so many like wonderful little snippets of almost like sort of dates we've all experienced to some degree, and it is just combined in this delicious, gross, horrible story. I hate it.
I do think that in the grand scheme of dates, I'm very lucky because thankfully every date I've ever been on has been with another girl.
Yeah.
And oftentimes that means I don't experience a lot of the shit that other people seem to be experiencing. Not that I don't experience some of it. There's definitely been some rubbish parts of dates for me as well. But I do feel, hearing things like that, I feel very lucky.
I think I know the kind of person they're describing. I believe I've never been on a date with someone who's acted that way, like specifically on a date, but I've known a certain type of person who is like that, and you're like, I can only imagine what it's like trying to date this person. Yeah. What's your other stories?
I have a couple of like smaller ones. There was one that's, where is it gone now? It just says he couldn't pronounce the word brie over and over and over again.
What? He couldn't announce what?
Brie.
Brie?
Yeah.
What was he saying? Like,
I don't know. It doesn't say. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That's the whole post. It's so funny. He couldn't pronounce the word brie over and over and over again.
Oh my god, beautiful.
Such a good one. Like I'm like, clearly he must have been trying to order it or something.
Do you know that video, that wonderful video of the guy who's like recording his grandma, whose English isn't her first language, and she's trying to say pumpkin pie?
Yeah, oh yeah.
I love that video so much. And she just gets so irate and she kind of just goes along with it. Oh, yeah. I want to meet her. Anyway.
So cute. I've also got this one that says, met the guy on Tinder. About 3 minutes into meeting him, he goes, "Can you buy me a water and a pack of cigs?" I comply. I think I spent $70 because he kept pressuring me to buy him stuff, and he didn't spend a dime. He kept farting too. Oh. Then he tried to catch a pigeon with his hands.
Wait, was that... Did you put the question mark in, or was that question mark?
No, she put 2 question marks in there, so that's all.
He kept farting too?
Yeah.
And a pigeon. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
and he tried to catch a pigeon with his hands.
Yeah, he sounds like a delight.
Oh my god, this one. He kissed me and pulled back and said, "Wait, there's just a little." I was embarrassed because I thought that there was something in my teeth, but he put his hand in my mouth and said that he thinks this tooth is wobbly. I was 19 with all my adult teeth.
What?
What the fuck?
So either he is potential serial killer quality or a dentist. I don't know.
Either way, though, like, imagine making it with someone, I assume for the first time, and then putting your, like, 2 fingers in their mouth and being like, wibble wobble. Like, you would not do that. Gross.
That is horrendous. Oh, it's such a motherly thing almost to do as well. Like,
yes,
you know, almost like parental, to be like, oh, I think your tooth's a bit...
Like, imagine thinking that someone's gonna, like, wipe something off of the side of your face and you're like, oh, how embarrassing. They just stick their whole...
Oh, I wonder how much is based on them just being purely stressed out. I'm fucking up. I don't know. I'm being too kind. I
think you're being too lenient.
Too lovely. Yeah. Just breathe, man. Just breathe. Like,
just breathe. Just take a step back.
Yeah.
Please. I have 2 more.
Okay.
I have... One time I got set up with a guy through a mutual friend. Before he came to pick me up, he said, "Do you mind if we take my motorcycle?" I was like, sure. So I wore a leather jacket and got all sexy and shit. This boy shows up in a single seat bike and I had to ride in the sidecar.
Oh, cute. Who has that anywhere? Like, sidecar. Right? I mean, it's almost like retro cool now.
I would have actually been like, this is low key pretty cool.
Yeah, me too.
Like, I would have, although I don't know how much I would have enjoyed actually having to, like, ride around in it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like, it would be quite crunchy, but I'd maybe, like, ask them if they had goggles, cover my face a bit.
Imagine, like, riding to the date through the town and you're just, like, scrunched up in this little sidecar.
It instantly makes you feel small and sad.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, imagine getting to the other end and, like, squeezing yourself out of it.
One day, there's a bucket list. I want to ride in a sidecar just to see what it's like.
Yeah, but I'd want to do it on, like, a big old country road. I wouldn't want to do it, like, through Edinburgh, getting stopped at the traffic lights.
Oh no! And there's just some, like, bunch of lads, like, looking out their car at you at the traffic light stop, and you're like,
oh, you're just like, beep beep, don't mind me.
Bling bling.
This is my last one. It said, I allowed my friend from college to set me up on a date, which ended up being a group date out by the lake. My date, Austin, was plastered by the afternoon and we all decided to go for a swim. At one point during the swim, he got very quiet. The group looked in his direction and we noticed his face looked like that of a constipated child. His friend yelled, "Get back in the boat now." Moments later, we saw a very large turd float to the surface next to Austin. No. Austin laughingly got back in the boat and acted as if nothing happened.
Oh my god.
What the hell?
Get back in the boat.
I know. Get back in the boat now.
Oh, Austin, that's disgusting.
Austin, that's nasty.
Very nasty. Oh no. And he was just like, ha 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 ha, fun.
Yeah, he just, like, pretended like it didn't happen. Just got back in the boat. It was like, off we go, chums, and date.
Floating around.
I know.
Oh no.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
You couldn't have held it in. There was just... What can you do? I don't know.
Like,
I've never been in that place, but I don't know.
Exactly, I know. I was literally thinking that. I was like, I've never been in the position where I've been drunk on a boat and really needed to poop. Like, what do you do?
Yeah. I remember being very drunk once and going for a swim in a lake, and looking back I was like, what a bad idea, because it was so dangerous, and it was like there was quite a lot of people about, but I could feel myself when you're like so drunk, you're so numb, and I couldn't really even feel my arms paddling. I was like, I'm just assuming I'm paddling, and I just had to keep my head above water. And we were swimming to this like wee raft, which was about, I don't know, a good few minutes swim from the shore of the lake.
Annabelle,
I know. And I could have easily just like stopped swimming, not realised, and gone under, honestly. And do you know, I really irresponsible, but then I climbed on this massive thing, which is like a kind of tower, and you climb on it and then you dive off it.
Annabelle!
And I died head first in the water, wasted.
Oh my god!
And it wasn't until I got back and I was on the sort of land again, and I was sobering up. I was like, shit, that was really stupid. Like, oh god. So
I am a licensed lifeguard and this is stressing me
sorry. I'm so well, I mean, this place sold beer and wine and they encouraged you to swim.
They knew what they were doing.
They knew. Yeah, so I think I had a bit of I think I had a pretzel, sobered up.
A pretzel.
I just I'll never do that again, because that could have gone horribly wrong.
I mean that there was one. This is me. I had a story. Oh yeah, there was one time that I was on. It was with someone that I was already seeing. I'd been seeing this person for like a couple months, or a month or a couple months. This is when I was in Tekapo, and however, you know how a marker of like a good, like long term, or for me anyway, I don't know if everyone feels this way, but for me a marker of a good relationship is when you feel comfortable enough around someone to like just be able to go to the bathroom and not worry about it, or like just be able to just fart when you need to fart and not worry about it. But this was not that. This relationship, I like had to hide all of that because she just thought she thought everything was like that, it was gross. But we went to Melbourne together for 4 days and I had to hold in my poop for 4 days because I could not find any time away from her that where she really wouldn't be able to like hear me essentially.
Oh my god.
So I was just like, and I kept being like in public, like being like, I guess I'll just go to this public bathroom. That would be better than like, you know, that would be better than having to do it in the hotel room. But then she'd be like, oh, I'll come to the bathroom too, and I'd be like, no,
god damn it.
Yeah.
Do you know what, you've really reminded me, like that's a real thing. That's happened to me so many times when I was dating or whatever, or, you know, someone that you don't know and you're like not fully comfortable around. And if you would spend enough time with them and you would just be like, I can't poop. Like, I can't, I would go around feeling so bloated and so like heavy, and it was just like, and you don't feel good about yourself. You don't feel sexy. You just feel disgusting.
Yeah. You're just like, please,
everyone's going through that on their first dates, I bet.
Yeah, it's
and
horrible.
Everyone feels the same. They're like, oh man.
But yeah, that is definitely something. That's a marker of like, this relationship's gonna last.
Yeah.
If you find someone who has not even like, but just someone who has the same level of, this is a normal human body that you have. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. You're not like having some weird pretense to like another person, like somehow I am angelic and I am beyond human, and girls don't poop.
Girls don't poop. They don't fart.
Yeah, it's such a nice feeling when you get to that point in a relationship, and you're just like, I'm cool, we're cool, and it doesn't freak me out, and we're good.
Me and Hannah got there so quick.
Yeah.
Literally nice. because I knew, like, we were already together, and I was like, I know that I like this girl, and like, you know, because she was in Glasgow, usually it would be like I would stay for a day or two, or she would stay for a day or two with me. And I think what I said was, do you think farts are funny? She was like, no. And I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
She was like, but if you need to fart, you can just fart, that's fine.
That's so interesting. When I first met Christian, we had a weird similar conversation where it was like, do you like intentionally fart in front of your partner and stuff because it's funny and stuff, and we were both kind of like, nah, like I wouldn't like go up to someone and be like, fart in your face.
Yeah, no.
It's like, I have a bit of respect for them, you know, it's fine. But like over time now we're just like, we obviously don't do that, we're actually pretty chill, but it's not like a horrendous thing. Like, we just lol about things, and you know, if one slips out, it slips out, and it's all good.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's a thing that happens. There's literally been like 3 or 4, maybe more times actually, where like me and Hannah have been in bed, and I've like gone for a cuddle in the morning, and she's like rubbed my back and just unintentionally burped me. And I'll be like, stop! I'll just like burp over her shoulder.
When I first started dating Christian, I got this like real anxiety, and it was clearly meant I didn't have very deep sleep. And so there was about 2, maybe 3 times where I'd farted in my sleep and woken up so suddenly and been like, oh my god, did he hear that? Did he wake up? And there was one time he was like, did you fart in the middle of the night? And I'm like, yes. And then he was like, ha ha. So yeah.
That's so funny. Oh my god, that's so funny.
But it would like wake me up, and I'd be like this terror in my heart of like, this is it. I've showed him my true self.
My inner demons. That's so funny. I can just imagine you jolting awake. Yeah. You're like, no.
Oh no,
like
the shame.
Those dogs that wake themselves up because they don't know where their farts have come from.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so the same.
Oh, that's so funny.
And they were like, beautiful.
Yeah. They're natural, beautiful parts. I have a friend who I'll not name because I've not actually asked them about telling this story, so hopefully they don't mind. But I'll not name them, and it's just I won't say too many details. But first date next morning, realised that they had peed the bed.
Oh no.
And was trying to like make a quiet escape when the person woke up and was like, "Where are you going?" And then they just started crying, and they were like, "I peed the bed." But then they dated for 2 years after that.
So there you go.
Yes. Sometimes it's fine.
It's fine. Oh no. That would suck though. I would feel
there was.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I would be. I don't even know what. I would be mortified. I'd be mortified. Oh my god. There was a story I saw. There was a few stories I saw where it was like, this thing happened, and 3 years later, we're still going strong. And I saw one that was like, I brought this guy to a house party, or I invited this guy to a house party. And we weren't even drunk yet. We were on like the first or second round of like strip poker, and he took his trousers and then pants off immediately. Like his pants were the second things to take off. What? So he was just there, like t-shirt on, dick out, and he was like, I'm no pussy in this game.
Oh, okay, like Donald Duck. Okay,
right. But then they're still together, and I'm like, why?
Oh, yeah, it's like the kind of people at uni who would think it was brilliant fun to like put their balls on the table and just leave them out.
I can honestly tell you I did not go to uni with those people.
They were just like, there was definitely a guy in our friend group who just loved to get naked when he drank. And he would just decide he would rest his bits on a table and just see, or he would like get naked and just wear a sieve around his bits and walk around.
A sieve?
And at that time you're like, lol. Can you imagine that happening now? No
way. If I hosted a soiree at my house and someone decided to just like get naked in my house, I'd be like, goodbye, I've ordered you an Uber.
Yeah.
Put my sieve down.
At least scrub it a wee bit first, and then
that's the thing. See, if someone did something like that at my house, I'd be like, you can wash that table right now. Let me see you wash that table.
It's like just leaving these like imprints behind, these gross sweaty imprints.
Gross. Why are people in the... Me and Hannah literally talked about this the other day. Hannah was like, I think if I met me in my early 20s, I wouldn't be friends with me.
So true. I look back and I'm like, Jesus Christ, what? Like, if anything described a hot mess, it would be my 20s.
I was your friend through 20s, though. I didn't think you were that bad.
I was much more... It was basically my early 20s. I think by the time I hit my 25-ish mark, I wasn't as bad, but it was uni days, and it was like...
Oh, yeah.
In my head, I thought to be the best person, the coolest person, you had to be the loudest and the kind of most crazy. So I was like, I it was so weird looking back because I'm such an introvert, and I honestly just
I know, I can't imagine you being like that.
If you scroll back to my Facebook pictures far enough, you'll see this real shift, like from early 20s.
Curious
Annabelle,
now.
I know, and she's just like wild eyes, and her mouth is always wide open, and she's like, ah. Oh, what an annoying person to know. Yeah, and there was even like, I got tags on a photo once, and it was like this random guy from the first year of my uni, and it was one of his friends, and he had tagged the photo and put a comment of something like something about like being too much to handle, and you're like, ask Rich about this sometime, and I was like, what the fuck does this mean? And it's just a picture of me, wild-eyed, insane, like grabbing hold of his shoulders, staring up at the ceiling, and I'm like,
oh my god,
was I possessed? So I look back at that hot mess time.
Them's were the days.
Oh god.
I like, when I think about it, like, I'm sure I must have, what age did I meet you at? Do you remember?
I think I started Mary King's when I was 25.
Oh, okay, so I met you at the end of all that.
Yes, yeah, you saw me at a much like calmer. I just got married. Obviously, the key to calming the woman down, but
is to wed her.
Yeah, I think I had sort of realised I had kind of just come out of drama school, and I was a bit mental in London in drama school, and I just moved up to Edinburgh, and just felt I was like, this is enough. I need to be chiller.
It's time.
It's time. So I think you just met me when I calmed myself down a bit.
I think you knew me through my early 20s.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
So I think you definitely must have known me for some less desirable Cara moments.
I don't know.
I don't think I was a horrendous early 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Like, I was obviously an idiot, because we literally all are in our early 20s.
Yeah.
But I don't think I was that bad. I think I was like, I think if I met me now, if I met my 20-year-old self now, I probably wouldn't be friends with her, but I definitely would be like, oh, she's trying her best.
Yeah, I know that feeling. She's just young. She's trying to prove herself.
Yeah, she's just feeling the world out.
Yeah. No, I don't recall any moments of like, if we ever had a night out, of Cara being totally mental.
Drunk Cara's really happy as well.
Yay.
Like, there's been like occasions where drunk Cara's had a big old cry.
Oh, sure.
But usually I'm just like, woo, having a good old night.
Oh, that's great. I think I wish I had more of those like pure happy nights. I would like have the happy and then just descend into tears by the end.
Oh no. It's always a bit of both.
It is. I guess it does depend on what you drink as well, as they say.
They say. As we've been chatting, I've gone through your old pictures.
Have you?
Yeah. And I've settled on one where you're just like climbing over the back of a couch, just like staring at the camera.
Bit like crazy eyes. I had really crazy eyes.
You've got what looks like a pink striped skirt with jeans on underneath.
I do. I mean, we're talking 2003, 4, I think. When I don't know. Yeah, class. That was still the rage back then.
Yeah, I do remember when like I was looking at early noughties fashion the other day, and I was like, truly a dark time.
Truly horrible. Everything looking back, I'm like, ew. Yeah. Anyway.
We have gone so severely off topic. But I think that's a good place to wrap up.
It is. I think we've gone for a really solid special of an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Do you have any serving suggestions?
Gosh, what have I been doing since before Christmas that has brought me joy? Oh, we found this new. Well, she's not a new content creator, but Hannah showed me this girl on YouTube. Excuse me, called Doll Lightful, DOLL, Doll Lightful. like a Delightful but for dolls, and she makes custom like dolls, like Barbie doll-esque things. And I'm not interested in making them at all myself, but it's amazing. Like, she fully like reroutes the hair, redoes the makeup, makes like clothes for them, like head to toe. It's
cool.
Like, it's insane. We've been watching a bunch of them. We've been watching a bunch of them and a bunch of like cooking videos from YouTube people as well, just like living vicariously through these people and their hobbies. So that's really cool. Also, Twitch, if anyone... It's like, for me, whenever I do watch Twitch, I watch it in the background, like whilst I'm doing something else, because I sometimes have a hard time focusing on music, or I have a hard time not focusing. I'll focus too hard on the music and not actually focus on the thing I'm supposed to be doing. So sometimes it's easy to just have like a Twitch video going in the background. So that's, I like Twitch for that. And that's all I can think of. Just content to view.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. I like the sound of this. Delightful.
It's so cool.
She's so sweet too. Oh man, I saw someone, I don't think it was her, but it was like a while back, someone was they were like redoing Bratz dolls.
Oh yeah.
And they were, because you know, like the Bratz dolls, how it was like heavy, like mid 2000s.
Yeah.
And they were like full on like loads of makeup and like,
yeah,
just, they were quite sexualized dolls.
Yeah, definitely.
For perhaps the demographic. So there was just someone who was like remaking them and just putting like fresher, more sort of youthfuler makeup on them, and I think they were like redoing their hair, and it was just kind of interesting. I didn't even think you could change the structure so much, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
from what they
it's
were.
Crazy what they can do. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's so cool. My serving suggestion, I actually thought about this a few weeks back, because I took part in the RSPB Birdwatch 2021.
Ooh, cool.
Which, if you don't know, is just like you sit in your garden for an hour, or you're out in your window looking out in your garden, and you just list the birds that pop in, and you send them off to the RSPB, so they get a really big survey of kind of what is going on right now. Yeah, and I honestly loved it. It was like the peak mindfulness, because all you're doing, your only task is to just wait for some birds to arrive. And it's so cute, and they just turned up, and they were like, we have a wee birdhouse, so we put some seeds in it, and they were all just flitting about, having a wee chill. Got a wee squirrel in there. Didn't count him. Yay! Our squirrels are hilarious. We got 2 squirrels that live in a tree next door to us, and they, if they can, will be like first in line for the bird seeds, and they will just like totally like blitz them. It's like so frustrating, because I love squirrels, and I'm like, I want you guys to be fed too, but come on, man.
Yeah.
Give the little birds a chance.
Yeah.
But they all get some. I bought this huge bag of bird seeds, so
I need to replenish my bird seed. My bird seed, I'm looking at the bird seed currently, and it's like frozen over. So I need to get some new stuff.
Yeah, it's been quite sweet, especially in the snow. You're like, I'm making sure they have food.
Yeah, there's like the squirrels around mine have gotten like, in preparation for winter, got so chunky.
Yeah,
and there's still some of them that I'm like, why are you not sleeping? Like, there's literally one outside right now that I can see. Yeah, and I'm like, why are you still awake? Go to bed.
I know. I was thinking the same. I was like, do they hibernate? Are they just like, I don't know. I just assumed they went to hibernate, but
I think they do, because like that's the whole thing, right? Squirrels like hide food and stuff, but I see so many squirrels hiding food out in the world rather than like in their nests, so maybe they wake up to go find the food they've hidden and then they go back to sleep. I don't know.
That makes sense, because the squirrels from ours, as cute as they are, they've started to dig these like little holes in our lawn to like deposit stuff in, and it's like, god damn. This garden is a mess, but I also love that you kind of use it as your little hidey hole space.
Yes, it's so cute. Squirrels are so cute.
On that note,
yeah, let's call it a
wrap.
Yeah.
Wow.
What?
I don't know. I got excited.
I didn't. So I don't know. I don't know when we'll be back.
I don't know.
We may be back in a week. We may be back in a month. We might. I think I for sure want to come back when we can do it in person again.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
For sure. 5 years time, we'll be there.
Yeah. Oh my god. Although they are going through the vaccine way quicker than I thought they would.
That's true. That is very true. They are. Yeah. Hopefully, maybe May, June.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that we'll be able to like have some semblance of a summer this year.
That would be nice.
That would be nice.
Oh man. Yeah, agreed. We'll just keep it free and easy and open. But we're just really excited to be back and just chatting, and it's been really fun.
It has been. Well, I think I'll be able to get this one out for Valentine's Day.
Awesome.
I think I'll either edit it today or edit it tomorrow.
Cool.
So, but yeah. So, you can find me on Instagram. I forgot how to do this part. You can find me on Instagram at cara.mckinley.art. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Thea_ecstatic. Quite different from my other handles.
You can find me on Twitter, which is now Annabelle D. Logan. So I don't know, just find me there, or Instagram. Again, just type in Annabelle Logan Comedy. You'll find me. And oh, that's what?
L.O.
L.O.G.A. Yeah. Okay, I'm going nuts. I'm so crazy. Okay, I'm getting early 20s vibes going on. Need to shut this down.
I know. My God. We've not spoken a single thing about breakfast, but enjoy your breakfast.
Enjoy your breakfast. Goodbye. Bye.